Hi guys. So this is the third case of section 1 in chapter 10 of dynamic user interface. So what we're addressing here is the second case, hierarchical select boxes, right? This sort of a hierarchical selection has a problem of flicker. So I think the best way to explain this will be with an example. So the Hadley has an example here. So this is a very simple example of hierarchical case. So we have a data set, and within each data set, we have columns, right? So in pressure data set, there's a temperature and pressure, right? So temperature. The problem here is when you select a different data set, temporarily we have this temperature, right? When we switch the data set from pressure to, say, cars, this initial column temperature is invalid, and therefore the output here has a brief flicker. So, for example, say I'm going to switch this to cars. Then before this output updates, there's a brief flicker because the uh, the column we initially had was invalid because it wasn't part of it's not part of this cars data set, right? But to be honest with you, I didn't really notice the flicker that much. So all right, so let's try this in our studio. So I'm going to copy this, right? And then I'm going to go, okay, so previous app here. Um, I'm going to create file for section 1.3, and then I'm going to select all, delete, and shiny app, and so UI and server. Okay, so UI and server, Control V. Now, when we run this app, we'll have the same app here, right? So when we switch data set, there's a brief moment where this initial column, what was it? It was temperature, right? When we switch to cars, that temperature is invalid, right? Because it's not part of cars. So it creates brief flicker, right? So the solution here is this freeze reactive value function, right? So we're going to hold off um, the column here, right? So we need to copy this, and then we're going to put it here, right? And then reload, right? So when we switch cars, I mean the data set, it it should prevent with flicker. But then again, I'm not really seeing much difference, right? I think it's because it's a very simple app. The calculation of this output takes only a brief moment, so the flicker is very short. But if it's more complicated app that's doing longer computation, flicker might be longer, right? So, I mean, for me personally, the flicker is hard to notice. In other words, before and after inserting this freeze reactive value, I'm not really seeing much difference. But I think that's because it's a very simple app, very simple computation. All right. I'll see you in the next video.